We'll talk about that.
It's quite poor. Hello, everybody. My name's Ian. This is Jason. We're Sinners Review. This is the Sinners Review podcast. And this week, we are talking about Edinburgh Festival Fringe, but we'll get on to that at some point. That's mainly because I'm going to go there soon. But we've probably got any other business before then and other stuff. So how's your week been, Jason?
Yeah, not nothing too exciting. Well, no, let me back up. So Sunday, I went to see a singer perform on Sunday.
All right.
I won't call her out on this, but yeah, I went to see her. Saw the first hour of a set. Mostly covers, but she does do originals.
And that's to work with her, is it? That was to work
Yeah,
with her.
yeah, that was the intention, to say, hey, can produce some of your stuff, and could you sing for Sona Vida and anything else? So she said yes, definitely for recording. Can't commit to gigs because she's playing pretty much every week anyway.
Right.
But she's pretty good. I watched the first hour. In the first hour of the set, there was a nice mix. She did Eagle Eye Cherry, Save Tonight, if you remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
In Excess, Never Tear Us Apart.
Oh, yeah.
What was another one that was quite cool? So there was, she did a Chapel Roan one. So in a nice variation, In Excess, Eagle Eye Cherry, and Chapel Roan in the same half of the set was pretty good. Did the Debbie Harry song, Maria, if you remember.
Oh, yeah,
that?
yeah,
I think it was Debbie Harry. It wasn't Blondie, it was her on her own, wasn't it?
That was Blondie, because it was written by the keyboard. It was written by the keyboard. That was when Blondie sort of they'd split up and came back again. And Maria was written by the keyboard player, who they eventually fire, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, no, it's a good song actually.
Well, and the chorus bit would she handled it perfectly. It's quite the chorus is quite a lot of modulation going up in pitch, and she handled that really well. So it seems a really nice person as well. I had a quick chat, been WhatsApping, so let's see if that comes off. So that was kind of the main musical thing I did that on Sunday. But it's always good to watch somebody live, right?
Oh God, yeah. I went to because we recorded Thursday, didn't we? Thursday last week. I went to see somebody called Tom Moth, who was part of Froome Festival.
Does he only come out at night?
Yeah, well, I wondered about that. He's a harpist. It was harp with electronics. And he was part of the Froome Festival. He plays with Florence and the Machine.
Okay.
And first of all, his support act was absolutely brilliant. She's from Bristol. She's called Boki, which is B-O-C-I. She was violin, guitar, and electronics and looping and stuff like that. But she was fantastic. Tom, bless him. I mean, I thought the performance was great, but he didn't interact with us at all throughout the whole performance till right at the end. And I'll be honest, I was getting a bit hacked off at one point. Just the fact that when people were clapping when he finished a tune and his head down onto the laptop, next song started. I suspect that was just a performance anxiety thing. His playing was great. He did say at the end, I don't talk very much, and I warmed to him a bit more then, but he sort of needed to do that at the beginning so that you bring the scene. You bring us along with you, and then you can do your what feels more comfortable for him. But yeah, so Boki was really good, and he's good. I don't think he's got any albums out at the moment, but hopefully at some point.
Boki was a guy. Yeah,
Boki was a girl.
Oh, a girl. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Moth was the guy, and
Tom Moth, sorry, was the headliner. Yeah,
I feel like I've heard the name somewhere. I don't.
It's probably with the,
maybe I've seen adverts for the.
Maybe there's lots of sessions and things. But he's an excellent harp player. And then on Sunday afternoon, I went to poetry. I went to see Kate Fox, who's from up north. She's from Bradford.
Okay.
I've seen her before, actually. She's looking to move here. Actually, she's looking to move to Frome. She's always, again, part of the Frome Festival, but she's really, really entertaining. She's almost like stand up. You know,
Okay.
the poems are really good. Like halfway through one poem, she'd stop, tell you a bit of a story, and start the poem again. She's that good and that confident. Really, she was brilliant. So I would always recommend going and see her if you can. You know, she's probably
Nice.
touring.
Nice.
You know,
I've been up north this week. I've been
yes,
up
so I
north.
heard.
I've been up just out in Cheshire, Prestbury, so just outside Manchester.
Yeah, but it's not really up north, is it?
It's not really up north. It's just funny. If I go up north, I'm a southerner.
Yeah, you are.
Because I'm
Yeah,
from the Midlands. I go up north, I'm a southerner.
yeah,
Southerner. When I'm down in Hampshire, I'm a northerner.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
What else? Oh yeah, I've been prepping for. I'm playing at the Gearfest Emon on Saturday night. So I'm going to Gearfest in that there London, where streets superbly gold. So
and you got a
Gearfest,
slot. Nice.
and I've not guaranteed a slot.
Okay.
So it's a minimal setup. It's here actually. So it's OPZ, iPad running a couple of slightly ropey synths. So I've got backup in case they keep crashing, and they do keep crashing. I'm using you can see that. It's a Keith McMillan keyboard replacement thing, but it will do MPE. So that's my replacement for me.
So you haven't got to take your instrument.
I can't take the instrument. I've got to carry it around all day with me, so it's got to be fairly light.
Yeah,
And
just getting a laptop bag. Yeah, ideal.
and I'm taking the Zoom L6 to record everything. So it's a minimal setup and well rehearsed. Actually, I've taken a leaf out of your book when we did the we took one of the audio pieces from the Endless Sky. Well, I've taken the Relic. I haven't slowed it down. I've left it at a normal speed, but I've added lots of effects and reverb to it. I'm using that as a track as well. And in 12 minutes, you can have you can listen to the whole story, although there's lots of stuff going on around it, really, So, and I've rehearsed it. I mean, I've rehearsed it 2 or 3 times, recorded it, happy with it. It may go all wrong. And if it does, deal with it, as always, really. So, but and then today I've spent all day today editing videos because with Edinburgh coming up, shows that we've seen before that are back again, I've repurposed some of the videos, about half a dozen of them, ready to put them out next week.
As a preview.
Yeah, because we've done the reviews already, so I've just updated them, top and tailed them, said when they're on. So that's pretty much. I've done 6 today, so it's been full on really, but
Okay.
But I'm all right. It's been a good week, really. Can't complain.
Cool. I guess something else I've been up to, it was at the weekend, was promoting this album. That's the backdrop behind me.
Somebody I know. I'm sure I recognize that picture.
Rhymes with Cole.
Oh, that's the man.
So out on the 25th, right? A week tomorrow.
Week tomorrow.
I'll be the 96th day.
I'll be in the car on the way up to York on that day. The day of release. I'm lying to you. That's complete rubbish. So no, I'll be around next Friday. Yeah.
So what is it? April the 96 days? What, April the 19th or something? Is it?
No, it's April the 6th.
April the 6th.
And we
did you miss a trick to release it then? You should have released it.
I suppose I did, really, didn't I? But I mean, I never thought that far ahead. If I'm honest, I mean, it's the second half of what's the other album called? 91st Day of the Year, I think it is, which was out a couple of months, 2 or 3 months ago. Okay. Bandcamp only. If I get chance next week, I'll do another video for one of the tracks.
I'm loving the dub track.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I think it's nice. Yeah, I like it. It's very orb-like, right? It's lazy reference.
That wasn't my thoughts when I first did that track. It was all done on an iPad with a MIDI controller. I think I showed you this last week, but So that's the launch key 3. I had the launch key 1, which is the other one.
Right.
So I spent some time in London going off round things, and I literally stuck that and the iPad in my backpack. And if I was in a coffee shop, I'd record something and I'd create tracks that way. And
Nice.
you know, and there were lots of different versions of things. And that track never got released. You know, it just and I never throw anything away. So, you know, I may have done it 20 odd years ago. It'll still come out at some point in the future, or get remixed or stem split if I've only got a stereo version and all that sort of stuff. You know.
Yeah, no, I like that one. Lots of good dub echoes and stuff, and skank sounds. It's good. No, it's a nice one. I didn't expect that from you. Yeah. Hidden talents, mate.
I like to throw a curveball now and then, you know.
Yeah. That's good. It's good. See you out a week tomorrow. We'll do another. I'll do another Insta promo for it this weekend. I'll pick a different tune and we'll push it out. But it's a good cover. It's a nice cover. Where's the cover from? Do you know?
It's when I was doing my walking 60 miles in January. That was one of my favourite walks in Frome. Right. Having said that, I have not been back since, I think last time I walked down there was in May. Okay. Right. And at that point, it was incredibly boggy. So I'd have to wear great big boots and walk through. And so it probably doesn't, it won't look like that now. It would, that pond will be completely dry.
Right.
You know, and then come winter again, it'll fill up again.
It's a nice shot.
Yeah.
Just with your phone, yeah?
Just with my phone, yeah. I mean, I've coloured it. It's been, it didn't really look like that, but
and actually radioactive in the morning.
It's quite. It's not. There's houses at one side. There's fences with houses at one side, and then there's a wall about probably 50 yards. So it's not a big walk in the sense that it's open spaces. It's actually quite enclosed. But actually, it is one of my favourite walks around Frome. You know. So yeah.
So would John should do any other business before we get
go
into
on then.
Fringe?
I don't think I have any other business this week, but you have.
Well, only that just driving up and down the wonderful motorways of the United Kingdom with the radio on. It was they were profiling that it's 40 years since Live Aid concert. So it was what, 13th. So where are we there? 17th. So yeah, at the beginning of the week, 13th of July. It was 40 years on from the Live Aid concert. So it was kind of making me think of that and just trying to remember what I could remember from watching it. Where were you when it was?
Right. So
it was on.
I was.
You're going to tell me you were at Wembley, right?
No, I wasn't. I was. So because it started at about lunchtime, didn't it?
Midday, I think. Yeah, midday.
Yeah, midday. So I set. It was our first house, which was in York, and Jane was at work. I was going to work. I started work at 2:00 that Saturday afternoon. So I set the video recorders, set it recording, so we record some of it. And I worked 2 till 4 because I was self-employed, although I was working in a hi-fi shop because really my main job was as a gigging musician, and I could pick my own hours. So on the Saturday afternoon I worked 2 till 4, left work at 4:00, went back home, changed the videotape, got ready for the gig, and went to play in some grotty club in, I want to say Sheffield, but it could be Halifax, it could be Huddersfield. It was it was a horrible workingmen's club. I remember that, and me and the rest of the band were really up for watching Live Aid. So we turned up, we did the sound check, and we said to them in the bar, I said, nobody's watching. They've got just normal TV on. Can you put Live Aid on? So in between our sets, we were coming off stage and going straight back into the bar and watching Live Aid every time. We had 3 sets, three 40-minute sets through the night. Right. The audience, and we were mainly covers band. The audience clearly were not interested in Live Aid at all. You know,
That's
And
interesting because it was as I was reading about it, 1.9 billion people watched it on TV.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, there weren't many channels back then. You
No,
couldn't
no.
really watch much else. But so I mean, a lot, 2 billion people. Whew,
Yeah, it
a lot of
was. I
people.
mean, and it was the bits that we saw, and because what we we taped the whole thing anyway because we'd use long play on the video recorder. I'd swapped the tapes at lunch when I got back at 4. Jane had been
Right.
slamming tapes in when she got home at tea time because she was a psychiatric nurse. So Jane had been slamming tapes in. We taped the whole thing, and I think we watched a lot of it on the following Sunday. We just, we weren't I wasn't gigging that Sunday night, so we just spent most of the day watching it from the day before and loving it. Really.
No, I was a spotty, long-haired teenager at that point. I just sat cross-legged on the floor. I think I sat and watched the whole thing at my dad's house. Just kind of just remember watching it. It's quite funny because I was obviously, I picked up that it didn't occur to me that it was the anniversary of it, but then obviously it
No,
was rotating on the news. But so I did a bit of kind of just looking up about it, and so Boy George originally came up with the idea. So obviously Bob Geldof,
yeah,
organised it all at very short notice. Pulled everybody together in his own imitable way.
yeah.
But Boy George was finishing a tour, a world tour with Culture Club, and the last dates were at Wembley. And it was after Do They Know It's Christmas had been #1. So I think it was early the following year after that, big release, a big success of what Bob Geldof says is one of the worst songs in history.
I disagree.
I think he hates the
I think
song.
it's a good pop song.
It's a good classic pop song.
Yeah, it's simple and it works. And he does what it says on the tin. We
It
bought
does.
2 copies when it came out.
Oh, nice.
Still got
Nice.
them on vinyl.
Cool. So I think on the last date of the Culture Club tour, obviously, it was at Wembley, so all the celebs were in the audience, and a few of the people that were on the record joined him on stage, and they did an impromptu version.
Right.
So he come off stage with all that euphoria and thought, hey, we could do a charity concert. And he mentioned it to Bob Geldof, and apparently Bob Geldof said, yeah, as long as you organise it, to Boy George. But then obviously Bob Geldof got the idea and did it. So it was quite interesting. Do you know can you remember who opened the show?
Yeah, bloody Status Quo.
But do you remember who said the first words, though? Who was the compere?
Oh, that
the
was it's 12 o'clock in London, and it's whatever time it is. It was yeah. Because I watched the documentary and they opened with that. Go on then. Who was it?
Richard Skinner. You'll kick yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Skinner? No.
No, I mean I remember Richard Skinner, but I didn't think it was him. But anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I know that because I'd read.
So I guess
I'd read Midgeo's book, and he was a bit. He felt his nose was put out of joint a bit with the concert with Ultravox, because obviously it was all about Bob and Boomtown Rats were on before and all. So there was obviously a bit of needle going on, which I'm sure has been sorted out over the years. But and that didn't come up in the documentary, but I do remember reading that in his book.
Is the documentary worth a watch?
It's 3 parts, so each one's an hour. Yes, it is worth watching if you've never seen it before. And obviously, there's lots of people out there that weren't even born when the whole thing. I mean, there'll never be anything on that scale again, I don't think. And
well, no, I mean that occurred to me actually as I was thinking about it and preparing for this. Really, kind of very different times, right? 40 years ago, where a bunch of musicians can get together and get 2 billion people engaged in the fact that somebody's suffering on the other side of the world, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you think about it now, you're a duo on stage at Glastonbury and you get shot down because you're outspoken about something going on unacceptable across another part of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell, right?
Yeah.
And you get shot down and you're anti this or you're anti that or you're a loony lefty, right?
Yeah. It's
only 40 years, right?
It's a different world to some extent. I mean, there is a great bit with Geldof trying to get Margaret Thatcher to renege the VAT on every sale of Band-Aid single, Now, everybody else was doing it for free. So, the retailers, nobody was making any money apart from the government. And she did eventually renege on that. But it took quite a bit of Geldof's powers to actually be able to do that, And good on him for doing it. I mean, let's face it, he's a bit of a gobshite, he's Bob Geldof at the best of times. But, he did have the phone numbers. And, as everybody in the documentary keeps saying, it's hot. You don't say no to Bob, really. And I'm sure he's a bit of a force of nature. Although I have to say, Boomtown Rats at that point were way past their sell-by date. And I liked the Boomtown Rats. I bought the early albums, but they were going nowhere by that time. Really.
I think he knew that.
Oh, he did not. He actually, he said that. He said that.
Right.
In so many words, So yeah, no, but it's good actually. It's definitely worth a watch. I mean,
I'll give it a watch.
Yeah, I say put it down as a recommendation for this week to give it a watch because the thing to be careful of is that there are two shows. So there's the documentary, and then there's another one which we went into at first, which is just the concert. Now, I'll be honest, we were interested in that because we have the DVD set of the concerts, which I've only ever watched it once, I think. But, if you wanted to watch everything from everybody, we bought the DVD back in the day. It's 6 DVDs of it, But it is up there if you've never seen the concert. And it's worth it. Some bands are better than others. Tracy Chapman, it sort of made her because she was the last minute booking because somebody had pulled out for some reason. And then she just came out and played the guitar, and obviously then, she started selling lots of records, really.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that was before her time, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it's good, actually. It's a good doc.
I'll give it a watch. I'll give it a watch.
Yeah.
So one other event from this week, and then we will move to Edinburgh. So obviously Wimbledon's finished. You saw who won, right?
No.
Sinner.
Oh yeah, Jane was watching it. Yeah, I mean, I had to suffer, and I mean, I'll be honest with you. 20 years ago, I was into tennis. I'm not into tennis anymore, really, and haven't been for quite a long time. And Jane insisted having on the final on while we had tea.
Right.
So I got to see a little bit of the final, but I was out of there as soon as I could be because I'm just not interested in tennis at all.
We should have put money on him winning. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Is he Italian or Spanish? Like
Italian,
I say, I don't know anything. Yeah, but he's nicked his name from our record label. But that's all right. I don't mind that. There's been a film, there's been a Wimbledon champion, and there's a record label. What's not to like?
Now a podcast.
And now a podcast, yeah. So, shall we get over to the main topic?
Let's do it.
Right, okay. So, Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Have you done any research on this? Because I mean, you don't really need to because.
Well, you're the master. I couldn't possibly.
I wouldn't go master, but right, okay. So, just taking some stuff off the Fringe website. It started in 1947, where there were 8 theatre groups turned up, uninvited.
Did you go to that first one?
Yeah. You're off. If I sent Christmas cards out, I've just crossed you off my Christmas card list. You know that, don't you? I'm not that old. So 8 theatre groups turned up uninvited to perform at the Edinburgh International Festival. And what you've got to remember is that the Fringe is the biggest arts festival in the world. But at the same time, there's also a book festival, which I've never been to. I think the book festival starts slightly later. And then there's the International Festival at the same time. And I have been to some of the performances at the International Festival over the years, That's usually in the bigger theatre venues, Playhouse and places like that in Edinburgh. So they were not part of the official programme of these eight theatre companies. So they're uninvited. They just turned up and started to perform wherever they could, which was sort of church halls and things like that. And certainly, Jane went the year before me. So Jane went in 1985 with her friend. And then came back and instantly said to me, "You have to go to this. It's brilliant." So I went. We were talking about this the other day. She's not sure. I'm pretty sure I went the following year with her in '86. So I think we went every year until Matt was born, which was '89, and then obviously once we had a kid, we had quite a few years where we didn't go. But the minute they were old enough, we were back there. But we'll get onto that. So those early years, it literally, I mean, you do get things cropping up in church halls or in very, very strange little venues around Edinburgh. There is no entry criteria, and that's always been the case, and that's the beauty of it. It also is a double-edged sword because you can see some absolute rubbish, you know. So anybody with the right amount of money, and it is about money these days, sadly, because it has got very corporate. So anybody who can raise enough money or has enough money can go and perform in Edinburgh. And to be fair, I've always wanted to go and take a show at some point, but I've got the money. It is phenomenally expensive. Most theatre companies, or comedians probably do make a profit, but an awful lot don't, and they make a loss. Because once you start to think about, you've got to put yourself in the Fringe program, which is, they still do a paper version. We always order two. Jane likes paper. I use the app. I use the Fringe app or the website. So you've got to put yourself in there. There's only one company you can use to do posters. So it's pretty much a cartel there. There was somebody a few weeks ago did a little TikTok saying that it was going to cost us £600 to £800 for the posters alone, without all the other stuff. So you can imagine it'll cost you thousands to bring your show or whatever it is to Edinburgh. You know, before
the ultimate pay to play, right?
Yeah, before you even get to booking a venue or any of that sort of stuff. Most of the sort of venue thing is pretty much sewn up now. There are quite large companies who they'll rent out. Actually, this time, interestingly enough, there's a tower block being used, which I'm hopefully going to a couple of shows in a tower block. They use hotels. They'll use certain hotels will get used every year.
Okay.
I mean, the one of the biggest promoters, we'll call them promoters, is a company called The Space. We hot desk out of their office, out of their press office, because they're good guys. They've always been incredibly supportive of us because, let's face it, I'm going as an official reviewer, but we're small fry, really. But they're Nick, the press officer, great guy. The whole team there are really helpful, so we will hot desk out of there. But everybody. I mean, there's the Assembly, there's the Summer Hall. There's lots of these sort of companies that will run multiple venues right across Edinburgh. Now, the centre of Edinburgh is actually quite a small city. We very rarely go anywhere on a bus. Occasionally, the only times we've actually gone anywhere on public transport, and we don't use the trams. I don't think I've ever used a tram. So we'll walk everywhere. There is at Tynecastle Football Park. The last few years they've had a fantastic play in the football ground, and it will be site specific. So it's never on the pitch, but you'll be in the stands, and they would build a stage at the edge of the football pitch, or it might be in the dressing rooms and all of that sort. And that particular company, we would always go and see one of their shows. They're absolutely brilliant. I don't think they're there this year because I've not seen them in the programme, and they would have contacted us to say that they were going to do something. That's a bus ride away. That's a 20-minute bus ride on the outskirts of. We have walked it, but it's it's a 40-50 minute walk really. But so we get a bus out there. But generally, you can get from Queen's Street, which is one side of one side of Edinburgh, across the Royal Mile to where the university is in 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And you do it. And I mean, we've been planning, we've had several meetings, Jane and I. So what we do each year, we order the programs. When the program arrives, I still mark it in the paper program because that's what, Jane will want to compare. So we both choose things that we want to go see. And there's an element of compromise in our reviews because Jane never looks at comedy. She always looks at theatre. I look at everything apart from children's shows. I don't look an awful lot at dance, but I do look at some of it, and in fact, I've already picked a show that's dance and multimedia this time. So we'll go through the programme, mark what we fancy, get our heads together. We have several meetings over the last couple of weeks, and we've cut that down to 63 shows.
I was going to ask that, how many shows you take in. So 63 shows over how many days?
So we're there for 14 days. So that's 4.5 shows a day, if we get them all. Now, the reality is that we have to, and that, it's also worth saying that what we've done it before, but this year, if Jane doesn't want to come to something, and I don't want to definitely go and see Shakespeare or whatever it is, I've done enough Shakespeare in the past. We're starting to go to things separately and then get together and talk about them, like we did when we did the Aesthetica. Yeah. So we're doing a bit of that. There's not a lot of it, but most things we would request 2 tickets. Now, not all of the theatre companies or the comedians want to give out 2 tickets to reviewers. But for us, and in the past, we have occasionally, if we definitely wanted to go and see a show, we've bought the other ticket. We're not against paying for things. And so the stuff on the free fringe, so there's the main fringe where everything's ticketed. Usual tickets are, I was going to say between 10 and 15, but it's probably between 12 and 17 now this year. Most tickets I've seen have been around about 14, 15 quid for an hour. So if you're going to go and see 4 or 5 shows, you can see it gets quite pricey. So we're, that's the way that sort of thing works. In the past, before we were reviewers, Jen was brilliant at identifying people that were giving out free tickets. So the best time to go is the beginning because it actually starts on the 28th of July. So that's the week before it actually starts. Well, it's supposed to start on the 1st or 4 or 5 days. And we've always called that preview week. What happens then is we used to always go then. We'd go for preview week because they want bums on seats. They want people to talk about shows. So although there's all there's social media, there's posters everywhere, there's the program. People. The best advert is word of mouth. So you're stood in a queue with somebody, and you start the conversation with, what's the best thing you've seen so far? And we would still do that, and we would tell people about stuff that we've been to see. So you end up, you end up sort of, word of mouth is the best thing for Edinburgh Fringe, because you can, and we would tend to, we don't go and see many big acts. We don't go and see many TV personalities. I think we've probably picked about 3 this time. There's one of the girls who's on Taskmaster at the moment because we're working our way through the last series of Taskmaster. So we're hoping to go see her. But we don't tend to pick big acts to go see. We'll get invited to some showcases where there'll be some of the bigger acts on. Like we'll probably get invited to the Stand, which is all comedy, their showcase, and everybody, it's like an Emon, but everybody has 5 minutes. So they have 5 minutes, and so they'll get through, and it's fine when you're doing stand up, really, to do a 5 minute slot, and there's usually free drinks at that. So you do get people hanging around quite a bit for the free booze. We don't, because we don't drink really. you know. But you do get to see some sort of good people, that sort of stuff, you know.
Nice.
So yeah, if you go right at the beginning, you can sort of start to identify where you're going to get some free tickets.
Okay. So what date's that then? When do you go? When's that preview week?
So preview week starts on the 28th. Now, not all shows will start on that date, but quite a lot do. Sorry?
Of July. This month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, actually, we're invited to... The Assembly is one of the other big promoters. They always have a showcase. It's normally on the first night we arrive. Now, it isn't. It's the night before we arrive this year. So we can't see it. We can't go, you know, which is a bit of a shame, really. And the good thing about that is you get to see things that you might want to go and see, you know, and either pay for the full show or, you know, and people do pay to go and see the Assembly showcase. So we get to go free because it's press, you know, and we will talk about it, and we'll talk about some of the acts that we've seen on, you know. We usually end up doing a video when we've been to it in previous. But the general public are also invited as well to buy a ticket to go and see a 2.5 hour show, you know, with 5 or 10 minutes of literally anything that can happen at the Fringe. So there'll be circus acts, there'll be comedians, there'll be theatre, there'll be all sorts of stuff. You know, you'll get a little snippet of everything that's on, you know. So it's, I mean, and, you know, it's information overload to some extent as well. It's Fringe. You have to be able to cope with that. So if you're neurodivergent, then it could be a challenge.
Right.
Really. We cope pretty well with it. There are times when you just feel that your brain's mush, you know.
Yeah, I bet it's exhausting. Yeah.
I mean, what tends to happen is that we don't tend to do anything before lunchtime. Usually, because what I'm doing is we always film the review as close as we possibly can to seeing the show. The reason for that is if we do, say we do 5 shows in a day, and if you wait to then film the reviews after you've seen all 5 shows, you can't remember what was what. And also, we actually quite like doing it wherever we can. So we will, you know, the roving reporter literally around Edinburgh will find a quiet space. I mean, was it last year? I think it was last year. We were desperately trying to find some place over the other side of Edinburgh near Queen Street. And we couldn't use one of the venues. They didn't have a spare room. They literally had everything on in every room. And then somebody suggested, why don't you go along down to the museum? And the Scottish Museum on Queen Street were really, really welcoming. There's a guy building sets, and he went, take a break. How long are you going to be? I said, well, we'll be no longer than half an hour. He said, I'll tell him to take a break. He can go for a cup of tea. You can use the space. And we just promoted them. We said, come, if you're coming to Edinburgh, come to the museum because it's great.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah.
And they've given us this fantastic room with all this you know, what is there going to be the next exhibition. So, you know, people are very welcome. We've done it in bars, we've done it in all sorts of places really. So we try and film it straight after, you know, if we can. But I mean, you know, like I say, we've been going from 85, 86, break for the kids, and then once the kids were old enough, we went up and we would go to stuff that they wanted to go to. So it was mainly when they were sort of 9 and 10, 11, stuff like that. Yeah. I do remember one year we hadn't planned to come up to Edinburgh. The kids were about 15, 16, and we had a day each. Picking what we wanted to do. My day was to go to Liverpool to the Beatles story. So we all trooped off to Liverpool. I think Jane wanted a day shopping in Leeds. So we all had £100 and could spend it on what you like in Leeds. Josh's day was let's go to Edinburgh for a day. So we got on a 6 o'clock train all the way up to Edinburgh. Went to loads of stuff in that day. Had a curry about 8 o'clock. Got on the train at 9 o'clock, got home for midnight. It is only 2 hours from York to Edinburgh, so it's not that bad a train journey But yeah, so we did it. We went up for a day, you know.
Very good, very good. And did it? I guess it paused during COVID, like everything else, right?
No, it didn't really. If you ask anybody from the Fringe organisation, they'll say there wasn't one. The first year of COVID, there wasn't one, and then the second year, they still say there wasn't one. But we went up because the restrictions in Scotland had been released, and it wasn't the same in England.
Oh yeah, each nation had its own rules, didn't it?
So they were limited by how many people they could have in each venue. So it was very COVID compliant. And if you ask anybody now, they'll say, "Oh, we didn't do it that year," but they did. It was a much small. It was quite nice actually, because a lot less people. Because literally, I don't know how many millions of people turn up in Edinburgh for the month of August, but literally everywhere you go is a crowd, you know. So it was smaller. There was a lot less going on. All the big promoters were there, you know. We went and we did our, and what they'd started doing that year is they'd done so much was face to face, and then so much was online. Now I've not seen much about the online thing this year, but I need to check that out really, because last year there were certain things that were again available online to watch when you wanted. So, and that was quite a good way of doing it really. We'd go and see all the face-to-face stuff at Edinburgh for the fortnight, and then we'd see the stuff that was online and review that in the second 2 weeks. So I don't quite know whether it's quite the same really. But it's I mean, you do get to know the city really well, you know. There is the venue that I have told this story before, and I've told it on several occasions. I've probably told it on to you, but one show that we went to, Jen and I, we weren't reviewing it. We paid for the tickets. This was before we were reviewing, and it was Indiana Jones and the Pantomime Horse or something like that. And it really wasn't very good. And I mean, my argument is that if I've paid for the ticket and I'm not enjoying myself, I'm quite within my rights to walk out, and I would, if you know. So 15 minutes in, I leaned over to Jane and said, this is rubbish, I'm leaving. She went, don't go, I'll come with you. So the next time the lights go down, and there's no stage, we're sat in the front row of this church hall, right?
Right.
But I know where the exit is. Jane doesn't know where the exit is, or hasn't identified where the exit is. So Jane gets up. She's sat side of me. She gets up and she walks straight across the stage to the light, which the door, not realising that that's backstage. And we get through the door. The whole cast are there, about to come out again for the next act, and we're apologising while we're having to try and escape from this really rather ropey production. And every time I walk past that venue, I'll go, Jane, remember this venue? And she, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I've not let her forget it really. So it's always good to know where the exit is if you're going to leave.
Yeah. Definitely, it's the first thing. It's the first thing that you get trained in. Know where the exit is.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think we left anything last year. The last time we left something was a couple of years ago, and it was pretty poor. We would also not review it. If we walk out, we will tell the press office that we can't review it, and we'll tell them why we can't review it. Because I understand it's people have worked on these things, and if it's not very good, it's just our opinion, and other people may love it, you know. So I'd rather not trash it if it comes to it. So sure. I mean, you know, we just say we're running out of time, so we'll have to do part 2.
Okay.
Because the 3-minute warning's just arrived.
Okay.
So is there anything else about this? I don't think there is there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not up to speed on Edinburgh, so I was interested in the timing and what you do in the process. I guess I think that's okay for now, unless there's any special acts you want to call out in the next part?
I've just done a video today, which is it's top 10 tips for Edinburgh Fringe.
Right.
It's an old video, but I've repurposed it. But what I have done in there, I've put in the acts that people should go and see this year.
Okay, so maybe we link that.
Yeah, I'll link
it
it down below. Yeah. I mean, like I say, the video was done quite a long time ago, but I've cut out all the bits that's no longer relevant.
Okay.
But and then I actually just at the end I've put the best things that we saw, and they're the best things that we saw last year and the year before. Now we won't go and see those shows again. There's no point. We've already reviewed them. The reviews still stand because the shows were good. Okay. So yeah, right. Back in a minute then. See you shortly.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah. Just finishing off Edinburgh then. So
Yeah.
you've got a video which will link, which will be the top things to go and see. Have you already you've thumbed through your annual? You've got your big manual there or on your app? Have you got some things highlighted that you're excited about?
Am I excited? I don't know what excited is the right word.
Okay, something you're looking forward to, or is there somebody you've seen before and you're seeing them again, or
no?
Right.
There's only one person that we actually are seeing that we've seen before.
Right.
A guy called Trevor Locke, comedian, and we've gone to see Trevor for the last 4 or 5 years. He's doing a different show this time, so but we are going to go and see him. He's on the free Fringe, but we always put money in his bucket at the end of the show. His shows are hilarious, really, and his previous shows, he said, there's no script and there's no jokes, but it's really funny, and that's true of Trevor. Really,
Right.
He's very, very good. Like I said, we don't tend to go and see people that we know are particularly famous, because, well, I mean, they don't need us to review them. If they're on the telly, they don't need us to review them. And the beauty of the Edinburgh Festival Fringe is you can see some of the best theatre or comedy, and it literally, they're a tiny production company. I mean, I've said before to you, and I've said before on the podcast, the highlight for us last year was stumbling across Sammy. I keep getting Sam's name wrong. Sammy Pima's piece, which is "Dear Annie, I Hate You," which is about her brain aneurysm when she was 20, which sounds like a terrible, terrible thing to do a play about, but it's funny. Sam's brilliant because she's acting in it along with one other person. We won't go and see it again because we did actually go and see it in London back in March.
Yeah, I remember you saying. Yeah.
But we're hoping to meet up with Sam just to maybe have lunch or a meal or something, just to catch up, really, because we didn't have time when we were in London. I've already redone the video, so I'll put the video out. It got 5 stars twice because we've seen it twice. It was the best thing we saw last year, and I hadn't planned to see it.
Right.
Literally, we went to another show 20 minutes before. I said to Jane, "Look, there's this thing on in 20 minutes. Let me get a couple of tickets from the press office, and we'll go see that," which we did, and it turned out to be the best thing. Luckily, I mean, Sam says that we really helped promote it. I'm not so sure about that, but the fact is, we told everybody in every queue, "Go see Dear Annie, I Hate You." So we told an awful lot of people about it.
Well, you said word of mouth worked for you, right? So you're just passing it forward, aren't you?
So we wouldn't, I mean, I've got my diary because I put everything into my diary. So we're aiming for 4 shows a day. The reality is we've got more than that, but we know that we might not get all of the shows. Some people don't want us to review their show, and that's fine. If I really wanted to go see it, I'd pay to go see it. But there's there's things like, God, I mean, half of these I don't know what half of these things are really. Stevie Martin is the person who's Actually, she's
Oh
on.
yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, I watched
Yeah,
Taskmaster. Yeah,
yeah.
she's a little
So
bit like Phoebe from Friends, a little
yeah,
bit quirky,
I
a little
liked
bit.
her
Yeah,
actually. I
yeah.
liked her on Taskmaster. So we're hoping to go see her show. If she doesn't want us to review it, we'll pay for tickets and go and see it. You know, and not review it really.
Yeah.
Um, so but like I say, we've put like there's a thing called Planetarium Lates, which is a planetarium version of the Dark Side of the Moon. Now, I really quite fancy that. I don't think we're going to
Mhm.
get it, and the tickets are ridiculously expensive. So I have asked them. It's not done through one of the promoters. It's done through Dynamic Earth, which is one of the sort of museums, not a million miles away from where we're staying, actually. I don't think we're going to get that. So what we've put
Right.
it in at the moment. So there's things like that, really. Jane fancied something called Ironing Board Man. I have no idea what that's about. And that's the beauty of it. I won't know. I am going to go see somebody called Beck Hill. Now, Beck Hill has not been there. She's female. She's a female comedian from Australia, lives in London, has done for quite a long time now. She does flip chart comedy. She has these really intricate flip charts. It's very gentle, and it's the first time she's been back for probably 3 or 4 years.
Mhm.
Now, the fact that she's back is why we're going to see her and we would always try and get to see Beck because she's great. Really, it's very gentle comedy. A massive amount of work goes into these very intricate flip charts, which are incredibly funny. You know, so like I say, there's 60 odd shows we've picked, but literally all sorts of things: comedy, theatre. There's a dance thing in there. There's quite a lot of multimedia stuff going on. And just Trevor Locke's show is called How to Drink a Glass of Water. I have no idea what it's like, but it's Trevor, so it'll probably be brilliant,
Hmm.
you know. Uh, so Mark Thomas, there we are. Mark Thomas is doing a stand-up show, which I'm not going to, but he is doing a theatre piece called Ordinary Decent Criminals. So we're hoping to try and see that. One of the best things I ever saw Mark Thomas do, and I've seen him a lot over the years. Usually I've paid to go and see him.
Mhm.
He did a one-man play about his father and his father's Alzheimer's, and it was heartbreaking, but it was absolutely brilliant. That was a few years ago, you know. So, and he's always, I mean, stand-up, he's always entertaining, you know. But no, we're hoping to go and see him perform a theatre piece, really. So, but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, and follow the channel because
Indeed.
we'll be putting videos out several a day. Actually, I'd say what normally happens. I normally lose a few subscribers because people not interested in Edinburgh Fringe will get hacked off with the fact that we're putting eight or nine videos out every day.
Is
Like
that what you
we,
do then? Short bursts.
yeah. So our reviews are normally about 10 minutes. They're not that long, really. Occasionally we'll have
Mm.
a longer one if we really get. We do fall out occasionally. We're not. It's not always. It's not always plain sailing.
Mm.
Um, we don't fall out. Well, have we ever fallen out on a camera? Occasionally we have. We wouldn't never get to blows, so we say.
Mm.
But so we would. Yeah. So we would do 10 minutes, usually about 10 minutes, and then we would try and get them up as quickly as possible. So I would start editing when I get back to the accommodation on the night. We're staying in student
Yeah.
accommodation now, which is still ridiculously expensive. It was over £3,000 for 2 weeks. So, you can't get a hotel. We have stayed in hotels before, but you can't get a hotel for probably less than £5,000 for a fortnight. No. There was one I was looking at. It was for a week, it was 13, 14 grand, one of the
Whoa.
hotels. All the prices go up that month, you know. And we have tried to get sponsorship in the past, but it's always fallen on deaf ears to some extent, really. Um, so, yeah, we're in student accommodation, which is adequate, really.
Bunk beds.
No, it'll be a 3/4 bed. So it's classed as a double, but it's not a double. It's definitely not a king size bed. But it's like a little flat. So we've got a kitchenette.
Okay, that's not too bad.
And an ensuite. So we paid. It's called a superior room, so we pay a little bit more for that.
Okay.
And the Wi-Fi. Actually, the Wi-Fi is the most important thing. The Wi-Fi is good there, whereas, as you found out in hotels, it's not always great.
Yeah. I'm having to do it via my phone. I'm just picking up 5G rather than the hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So it's the risky run, isn't it?
The one year we had to do everything at the space offices because the Wi-Fi was so poor. We were staying Airbnb and the guy had put Wi-Fi in, but it was rubbish. We couldn't rely on it. So I was having to literally carry my laptop around all the time, which was a bit pain in the neck, and having to literally edit everything there. But we get out as quickly as we can. Certainly within the first 48 hours normally. I do get a backlog sometimes, so that but the things we've seen the 1st and 2nd of August are things that are not on for the whole month. So they're only, and we're seeing this more and more where there's shorter runs because people can't afford to go for the whole month. So if they're doing a 14-day run, we'll try and see the show in the first couple of days and then get the video up quickly so that people can go and see it.
Right.
Yeah, but go.
Exciting.
Yeah. So I would recommend anybody to go. It's
saving.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculously expensive, but but we've done it for so long now that and it is quite nice to think back to how it was in those early years, when it was smaller and less commercialized, and everybody complains about it being so commercialized. You could argue they're maybe starting to price themselves out of, the fact really small theatre companies. There's a really great theatre company who we've seen the last 2 years. Last year they did Frankenstein on a budget, and the year before it was something else on a budget, and it was sort of cardboard. So one-man show with Becky, who's she's the sound guy, she's the producer. They're a couple, So a very small theatre company. They're not there this year, and it's probably because of cost. They're brilliant. They can tour the rest of the year and make a living, but going to Edinburgh, they're going to make a loss, And so the Fringe itself is starting to price itself out of some of those really, really good small companies, But anyway, it is what it is, really. We have to put up with what we've got, really. So, what's next?
Cinnamon bun chat.
No cinnamon buns this week.
I broke my virginity.
You've had one?
I've had one.
Oh, well, what was it like?
Well, I went to IKEA because I'm moving into my crash pad this weekend, which means I can get decent Wi-Fi and start eating food other than meal deals from a supermarket. So I went to IKEA and didn't have the meatballs, which is what most people have when they go to IKEA.
The chips are always nice, though.
Yeah, it's all right because the little takeaway things are cheap and cheerful. So I had like a vegetarian hot dog thing, but then I saw cinnamon buns. So me and my daughter Evelyn, we had a cinnamon bun each from IKEA. I have to say it wasn't all that. I don't think. I'd have to maybe try one of the better ones. But on your scoring, I'd probably say
5.
Probably. Can you do halves?
I don't do halves. Jane likes to do halves, but
okay.
So it's.
I mean, I'd probably say a 1. It was a bit uninspiring. Wow, it was warmed for a start.
Oh no!
Do you have them warmed?
No, absolutely not.
Right, so it was warmed, which was a bit weird, which then messed with the consistency. So the outside was a bit crisp and crusty,
a bit gooey,
and then the inside was all gooey. It was a bit. I mean, it was all right. It was a sugar hit. It was a carb hit, but it wasn't. I wouldn't rush to have another IKEA cinnamon bun.
No, you need to. I mean,
I'll try Marx's one next time.
Yeah, Marx's are not bad out of room. The best one so far has to be the chocolatine one. in Walthamstow. I'll bring you one back, but I'm sorry it won't be fresh by the time
It's
it
not
gets
going
to
to
you.
last, really.
It's not going to
Yeah,
last.
it's not going to.
So I'd end up eating it. So, So yeah, so that's what I'll be doing on Sunday morning. Is going to buy chocolatine and going to buy 2 cinnamon buns.
Nice.
Here's the thing: I'm off to obviously Gear Fest on Saturday. The rest of the family are going to the athletics. They're all going to the athletics.
Oh, okay. Well, like Crystal Palace or something?
No, it's at it's quite close to Walthamstow. It's at Olympic Village.
Okay, of course it is. Of course it
I
is.
mean,
Yeah.
I am
Okay.
not interested. I mean, not only am I not interested in tennis, I am even less interested in athletics.
Right.
But they're all going, so that's good. And then
Okay.
I'm going to pop around and see Matt and Belle's house. See how they've ripped all they had all this sort of stucco stuff on the outside, and they've had all that removed professionally. So they've been doing lots to their new house. So I'm going to go and help them on a Sunday. And do
Nice. Very
do
good.
what I need to do, really.
Very
So
good.
yeah. But no, I haven't had
So
one this week. But I'll have 2 next week. That's for sure.
you make up for it. Make up for it. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I'll maybe try a different one then, so I can do a
Yeah.
comparison to the
Don't
IKEA one.
give up on them. But I mean,
Okay.
I've not had an IKEA one, so I do
It was
need
only
to sort of-
75p. So
I tell you, there was one at I had one at the which museum was it? British Museum. Jane's a member of the British Museum, and I was in the cafe there once, and that wasn't a bad one. Not quite as good as the one out of M&S, but so it was a 3. It was a 3. It wasn't anything more
nice.
than that.
Nice.
But
So
yes, so we need a chart, don't we? We need to start a chart. So
we do.
So the worst one.
We could do like they do on Top Gear, where
Yeah.
they used to do the lap times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice. So ask Ian anything then. We'll finish with that.
Okay, here we go.
So I can't really tie it to what we've talked about today.
all
Well,
right.
loosely, it's music
all right.
related. So I don't know. Do you believe in reincarnation?
No.
No.
But then
Okay.
again, I don't believe in God either. So I don't think
So
this
if you
is
did
a-
believe in, if you were reincarnated, who would you come back as if you could choose who? So when you're at the gates, it gives you the choice if you can come back as somebody. Who would you choose?
I'm going to be really boring and say I come back as myself.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I would. I don't want to be anybody else.
Right.
No, I mean, I'd like some people's money, maybe, but I don't believe money makes you happy. So no, I would. I mean, for all the things that have happened in my life, good and bad, fundamentally,
Do it all again.
I'd do it all again. I don't think would I do anything differently. I would have probably liked to have been a professional musician earlier than I was.
Okay.
But no, I'd have done the same thing, really. I'd have gone off and played in bands. I'd have probably taken the job at the university because it was a steady job and I enjoyed most of those 18 years. 2 great kids, who are now married, 2 great girls, I'm married way above myself, that's for sure.
Right.
I did well there. No, I wouldn't want to be anybody else. I'm completely happy in my own skin. And always was,
Okay. Well, there's a nice happy ending.
But that was it, yeah. There is one more thing, recommendations.
Yes.
So one of my recommendations is that album by Boki.
Yeah.
B-O, I wrote it
B.I.
down.
was it?
B-O-C-I.
Yeah.
And the album was, I thought I wrote the album title down, but I don't think I have. Oh, yeah, here we are. Now, interestingly, when she was talking to us at the gig, she told us what the album was about. It's a concept album about aliens on another planet. I've been saying I've listened to the album. I don't get that at all, and I wish she hadn't told us that to some extent,
Okay.
because I didn't pick up on that at all. It was a bit Brown Rice and Sandals, but the album is really good. It's called Scenes from Unica, Uinxia.
That's the planet.
That's the planet. Yeah. So, but it's a good album. Forget that. Forget the aliens bollocks. I'm sorry that didn't work for me. But and I'm all for a concept album. But no. So that's one of my recommendations. I have got another one. But have you got any?
Well, there's not a lot new. I haven't been caught by any new music lately. It's been a bit quiet. I don't know whether it's because festival season, so people aren't putting albums out. I think I briefly mentioned it before, but it's the only thing that keeps coming up that I'm quite enjoying, and it's the remix of the last Cure album. So it's mixes of the Lost World.
I listened to
I
this.
quite like it.
Yeah.
There's some good mixes on there. It's a nice way to listen to the Cure in 2025.
I'm not into the Cure at all. Never really was, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it's a nice mix. It's quite atmospheric. It's very goth, very Cure-like, but actually done with a lot of the remix artists are now and current. So there's a lot of current sounds, current vibes. So I've been listening to that a lot in lieu of anything else new, I've got to say.
Yeah, and I did listen to it, and I did what you said about listening to the Tom York and Mark Pritchard album, listening to that all as one piece.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've only listened to it twice.
Right.
I'm not.
It does take a few listens, actually.
I'm not
it does take
into it, but it's been a bit. I've had it on in here when I've been doing stuff. I've got two more. One is the fact that Allure from Halifax has got a new single out called Missing Kid. It dropped, I think, yesterday. I liked the video. I sort of follow, which is always sounds a bit creepy, doesn't it? Some sort of elderly bloke following some young female singer. But I think she's great, actually. She is coming to Bristol in October.
Okay.
So if you fancy a night out in Bristol, going to see, it's not at the Beacon. It's at a slightly smaller venue. I'll get 2 tickets if you fancy it.
I'll have a listen. Allure is in the word alluring.
Allure, Ellur. No, there's no album.
Ellur.
Ellur. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
It's called Missing Kid is the new single. In fact, I haven't added it, but I will now.
Missing Kid. Okay, yeah, I'll give it a listen.
But I mean, on social media, she's been playing it with just a guitar and things like that. So the songwriting is strong from her, really. I mean, my favourite EP from her is God Help Me Now, which she brought.
Now I can see that. Yeah,
came out right at the beginning of this year, and I stumbled across her again. I think it was on TikTok. Just her great voice, just playing a guitar.
Right.
And you can, if you want. The problem with TikTok is you have to get through all the crap adverts and stuff like that to then find something. So you end up doom scrolling on TikTok because so much of it is ridiculous adverts or content that you're really not interested in, and then occasionally you stumble across something that's really interesting.
Yes.
So the other thing is, I think I did recommend this before, but I'm at the end of it now. So Yellowstone, the TV series.
Yeah, that's the Cowboys thing.
Cowboys, Cowboys, politics,
Western,
murder. It's all going on. Families. It's but so series 1 to 4 is on Netflix, which I recommended before. Annoyingly, series 5 was only available on Paramount unless you bought the DVD. So for 15 quid, I was able to buy the DVD, and tonight we are watching the last episode.
Okay.
My God, what a series. There's been some moments in this last, we've watched one episode or a couple of episodes a night, really. But there's been some episode, and it's very much a series where you go at the end of it, you go, oh, it's finished, which is rare these days, to be fair. But yeah, it's absolutely
check
brilliant.
it out. So
you can watch the first 4 series for if you got Netflix, and then if you're into it, I'll lend you the DVD. I'll keep the DVD and you can borrow it.
I'll have to dig out the DVD player then. It's in the loft, I think.
Oh, is it? I use my PS4 as a DVD player. So that's my. I haven't got any other recommendations. That's it, really. The 3. That's it. I think we're done, aren't we?
Nice. I think so. Yeah. Very good.
Take it easy.
Take care.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Sinners Music Records are offering 2 types of Bandcamp subscription. For £3 a month, you get 21 back catalogue albums and EPs, plus any new releases. And for £10 a month, you receive all their back catalogue releases, as well as a limited edition white label compact disc version. 3 CDs will be sent out each month of your subscription. You will find the link to subscribe in the show notes.